Psalms 18. For the end, a psalm of David, the servant of the Lord, the words which he spoke to the Lord, even the words of this song, in the day in which the Lord delivered him out of the hands of his enemies and out of the hand of Saul. And he said, I will love thee, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my firm support and my refuge and my deliverer. My God is my helper. I will hope in him. He is my defender and the horn of my salvation and my helper. I seen another translation, horn was also shield. I will call upon the Lord with praise, and I shall be saved from my enemies. The pangs of death compass me, and the torrents of ungodliness trouble me exceedingly. I looked up that because I didn't know what torrents was, and it had to do with a strong moving current or movement of a strong liquid, and so I'm figuring like water or something like that. The pains of hell come around about me. The snares of death prevent me. And when I was afflicted, I called upon the Lord and cried to my God. He heard my voice out of this holy temple. And my cries shall enter before him, even into his ears. When the earth shook and quaked, and the foundations of the mountains were disturbed and were shaken, because the Lord was angry with them, there went up a smoke in his wrath, and a fire burst into a flame at his presence. Coals were kindled at it, and he bowed the heavens and came down, and thick darkness was under his feet. And he mounted on cherubs and flew. He flew on the wings of the winds. And he made darkness his secret place, round about him as his tabernacle, even dark waters in the clouds of the air. At the brightness before him, the clouds passed, hail and coals of fire. The Lord also thundered from heaven, and the highest uttered his voice. And he sent forth his weapons and scattered them, and multiplied lightnings and routed them. And the springs of water appeared, and the foundations of the world were exposed at thy rebuke, O Lord, at the blasting of the breath of thy wrath. And he sent from his high, did I read it right? And he sent from on high and took me and drew me to himself out of many waters. He will deliver me from my mighty enemies, and from them that hate me, for they are stronger than I. They prevented me in the day of my affliction, but the Lord was my stay against them. And he brought me out into a wide place. He will deliver me because he has pleasure in me. And the Lord will recompense me according to my righteousness, even according to the purity of my hands will he recompense me. For I have kept the ways of the Lord, and have not wickedly departed from my God. For all his judgments were before me, and his ordinance departed not from me. And I shall be blameless with him, and he shall keep myself from my iniquities. And the Lord shall recompense me according to my righteousness, and according to the purity of my hands before his eyes. With the holy thou wilt be holy, and with the innocent man thou wilt be innocent, and with the excellent man thou wilt be excellent, and with the perverse thou wilt show forwardness, and thou wilt save the lowly people, and wilt humble the eyes of the proud. For thou, O Lord, wilt light my lamp. My God, thou wilt light my darkness. For by thee shall I be delivered from a troop, and by my God I will pass over a wall. Trump must not like him, right? For as for my God, his way is perfect, and the oracles of the Lord are tried in the fire. He is a protector of all them that hope in him. For who is God but the Lord? And who is a God except our God? It is God that girds me with strength, and has made me blameless, who strengthens my feet as harp's feet, and sets me up high places. Whew. He instructs my hands for war, and has in oh come on. And thou hast made my arms as a brazen bow, and thou hast made me secure in my salvation, and thy right hand has helped me, and thy corrections has upheld me to the end. Yea, thy corrections itself shall instruct me. Thou hast made room for my goings under me, and my footsteps did not fall. I will pursue my enemies and overtake them, and I will not turn back until they are consumed. I will dash them to pieces, and they shall not be able to stand. They shall fall under my feet, for thou hast girded me with strength for war. Thou hast beaten down under me all that rise up against me, and thou hast made my enemies turn their backs before me. Thou hast destroyed them that hate me. They cried, but there was no deliverer, even to the Lord, but he hearkened not to them. I will grind them as the mud of the streets, and I will beat them small as dust before the wind. Deliver me from the gain gainsayings of the people. Thou shalt make me head of the Gentiles. A people whom I knew not serve me. At the hearing, at the hearing of the ear, they obey me. These strange children lie to me. These strange children wax old and fell away from the path, fell away from their paths through lameness. Lameness. The Lord lives, and blessed be my God, and let the God of my salvation be exalted. It is God that avenges me, and has subdued the nations under me. My deliverer from angry enemies. Thou shalt set me on high above them that rise up against me. Thou shalt deliver me from the unrighteous man. Therefore I will sorry, I read that backwards. Therefore will I confess to thee, O Lord, among the Gentiles, and sing to thy name. See, it's always ending with the importance of his name, right? God magnifies and the deliverance of his king, and deals mercifully with David, his anointed, and the seed forever. And that last part, though, it reminds me of the whole quote unquote slave narrative, where they try to say that slavery, was an inheritance, or, that they could pass on their slaves through inheritance and so on and so forth. Because it reminds me, I just think about that, right? He was put over the Gentiles. And remember, I think it was in the first psalm or the second psalm, there was a deal that was offered to him that if he asked, he would make him the Gentiles his inheritance. And I just think of how they try to flip that around, through the slave narrative, that they can inherently own, quote unquote, our people as slaves. It was an inheritance of theirs. And I think about how, I read about these ministers that tried to use the Old Testament as proof that slavery was legit, and that, they could, do this kind of stuff. And there's something else I think about too as I'm reading this. There was a whole thought process that I was shown. And it goes like this. There was a father and a son who were driving home from a baseball game. An 18-wheeler swerved from the lane and hit their car, and it killed them. Killed the father, I'm sorry. The son was rushed to the ER, and in comes the surgeon. When the surgeon comes in, the surgeon says, "I can't operate on this boy. He's my son." And the whole gist of that is to not assume, to try to think about what you're reading, think about what's going on, because, just assuming what we're going through, so we know what's being talked about, makes us miss the nuggets that are in here, the gold nuggets. So